Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is well. And as you might have guessed, yes, I am going to attempt at making a table from these materials that I have. Now, first, I wanted to start by removing one row off of the table runner because it was a bit wide to go on top of the metal wall hanging, excuse me. I did that pretty simply by just using some regular scissors. After I removed the washers from the metal wall hanging, I then decided that I wanted to paint the metal wall hanging white. And yes, once again, I used the white chalk paint by Waverly. And I was very sparing on the top because I was going to be placing the runner. I only focused on the areas that would show through the spaces on the runner. And then, of course, I painted the sides of the metal wall hanging. After I painted the metal wall hanging, I then painted the actual wooden runner, and I painted that with 2 coats of the set paint. For maybe almost a year, you guys, I have been looking at these mandala stencils, and they come in a pack of 9, and they're the large size. They're 12 inches by 12 inches, and finally took the plunge a couple of months ago and went on ahead and got. I also got them from Amazon for $11.99, I think it was. And you guys, we all know stencils of that size, one of them may be that price. I'm going to apply it, as you can see, using my black Waverly chalk paint. They call it ink, but it's black. Okay, you guys, so I just took a popsicle stick. It was not my intention to have it be sticky like here, but I'm just gonna use this because believe it or not, this little amount that I have probably is more than enough for me to do all of the stencils that I'm gonna do. Now I do have different types of stencil brushes. This one is a little bit more flexible. This one is a little bigger than this one. This is the one kind of medium to small size range I'm gonna stick to because it will help me to get inside these really small, intricate patterns. Now, as an added tip as well, you guys, it might be self-explanatory, but if you have old rags or old t-shirts, feel free to use those to wipe your excess paint off. I'm going to use a paper towel. One tip about paper towels, if you just use a paper towel to dry your hand off after washing it, put that paper towel underneath the sink, and once it dries, you can use it for another project. And as you guys can see, like I said, I sprayed a little bit of water, and I'm gonna load my brush really well. See, it's really nice and saturated. And I'm gonna thin it out a little bit with some water because I want just a hint of that. And then even after I do that, let me put this away to the side because I don't want a mishap to happen because it can happen to me. I'm gonna even dab it some more on the towel because I want most of the water out of that out. You see, it looks like almost all of it that I did. Okay. Okay, and then if you see, I'm just gonna do a hint. I'm probably gonna get more onto the stencil. I did forget to tell you guys, you can get some low tack tape, like the tape that you do for painter's tape. It has low tack to it, but it's enough to give you a border from what you don't want paint on. You can use that to tape your stencil down. I don't tend to do that, especially when I want the free pattern over the entire thing. I tend to not want tape, but you can do tape. And there actually is adhesive that you can use that is specifically for putting on your stencil. I have used that and I have found that I didn't like that either. So if you want to, you can do those things if you're not too sure about your hand staying steady. And you guys, this may look like I'm being very brisk or heavy-handed. I am not. I'm being very light and I'm really just doing an up and down pat to allow that paint to come through. So moving right along here. And like I said, you want to lightly load that brush almost where it's like a dry brush. And don't worry about it, because as you're doing it, you can go back over areas that you want a little bit deeper while it's down the first time. Okay, you guys, I'm going to try to center this and get in good so that you can see it. I did get off center a little bit, but again, I really don't care. So there you guys have it. Now, this is the other thing that I really like about stencils. If you want to make the pattern continuous, all you have to do is just place it to the end where you have completed your stenciling and continue on. And there I'm making a circle, but you guys saw the stencil. It was only a half circle of the design. So you can get really creative, and that's how I like stencils. And not only that, because I'm using a dry brush, you guys, I don't have to wait and let it dry. By the time I finish one side, I'm ready to go on to the next. So once again, it's something you might want to try. So if you were to have had a pattern or a stencil that was just singular like this and not with random patterns like mine, and you wanted yours to be on the center of the item that you were stenciling, you would take your item that you're stenciling, find the center, and then find the center of your said stencil and place it on that center mark of the item you're stenciling, and that way it would be very even. I want my pattern to be more random, since I really do have a random stencil, and that's what I'm choosing for me. But if you want yours centered, that would be the way you would go about it. And if you do happen to make a smudge, don't worry about it. As you can see, I did with my black paint here. All I'm going to do is take a smaller brush, dip it in that paint, wipe the excess off, and I'm going to dab it. And I'm going to do this a couple of times or until that little smudge disappears. It's not the end of the world. For this reason, I actually like using a flat finish. Obviously, if you have a glossier paint, it may take 3 times to tap it away, but anyways, whatever finish you use, you can actually remedy the issue very simply. So I wanted to use this moment to throw a couple of ideas in making this project. If you really like a stencil, but it's really, really intricate, one of the things you can do is you can take some decorative fabric or decorative paper and cut out the outer part of that stencil and then apply it using some type of adhesive. And if you want it, you can take a marker or a colored pencil or even paint and draw out those decorative designs then. You can even embellish your stencil by using contrasting colors or vibrant colors, if you will. Last but not least, you can use gold or silver leafing or use a beaded design and protect it by using plexiglass. The options are endless, as we very well may know in the DIY world. So guys, I just took a large paint stir stick and drilled a hole through it, and I used that hole for my template to drill in all of my wooden dowel bars. I then slapped some paint on the bars that reinforce the legs of the table, and then attach that daggone plexiglass. You guys, I'm saying things like this because that plexiglass got on my last nerve. It was the most simplest cut, and maybe I should have stopped, but yeah, I had a challenge with the plexiglass. But there you guys have it. Isn't it cute? I think it's cute. I left the one area open because I do want to use it as a functional table to possibly sit at or stand at. And at a later time, if I decide to move the table someplace else, I probably will attach that additional bar at the bottom.
You need a nap.
I'm not editing. I'm not editing this out.
Good, because I hope they hear you need a nap.
Just, why don't we bring in more background noise?
Try chocolate or something.
It's not enough. Keep it going.
You know that he got
They're getting on my nerves, y'all. Do y'all see this? Okay, I am done. Sorry for the background. It is done.